Hello and welcome to Horologique. I am Olivier, and welcome today to the review of an old friend that we thought was gone, but is actually still here, still among us, and that is of course the Seiko SKX. And as you can see, I have managed to procure myself a Seiko SKX009J. So in this video I will very quickly review this watch, just the basic dimensions and to see how the 7S26 is performing, and then I will be discussing where to still be able to get this watch at reasonable prices. So if you know this watch by heart and don't want to see the description of the watch, make sure to skip to that part. I will leave a link on the description to where you can skip directly to the part where I speak about where to get this watch here. But first, I just wanted to let you know, for those of you who don't know, I am giving away this beautiful Saint Martin Submariner Homage V3. Amazing watch with a much better Seiko movement than the actual SKX. So to participate in the giveaway, you have to be, of course, a subscriber of the channel, and you have to let me know in the video of the giveaway that you're interested. I will be linking that video down below in the description and up here on one of the cards. And I wanted to discuss this subject because I am a member of many Facebook groups, of many Seiko Facebook groups, and quite often in those groups there's people asking where to find this watch at good prices. As you know, this watch was discontinued in September of 2019, so 1 year back, but you can still find it. However, most of the listings have unrealistic prices of 400, 500 euros or dollars, and that is just too much for this watch, for my opinion. But there are still some parts where you can find this watch for reasonable prices. That's what I'm going to be talking to you here. The Seiko SKX was released in 1996, and believe it or not, in Japan it is part of the Seiko 5 family. That's why this little tag comes with this watch. Maybe that explains the crappy bracelet. And what you have to know is that the G version only comes with a rubber strap. These stiff and ugly strap, but still, it's quite characteristic of this watch. The diameter is 42.4, the height is 13.5, and the lug-to-lug is a very wearable 45.2, 45.5 usually, because this bracelet is quite impeding me to measure it correctly. The lug width is 22 millimeters. And on the strap the watch weighs just 107 grams. Here is the trick that Seiko pulls on everybody, and it's making large watches appear pretty small and wear on small wrists. This is a 42.5 millimeters diameter, and as you can see, it wears perfectly well on my quite small 6.5, 16.5 centimeter diameter wrist. The SKX has now a now famous dial that comes from their previous line, and you can see that courtesy of the 7S26 movement, you have at 3 a date-day complication, which is really useful. At 6 you have the Divers 200. That is part of what made this watch the legend that it is, the fact that at such an affordable price you could have an actual diver's watch. And in the Japan only version you have the jewel number counted in there, 21 jewels from the 7S26. And at 12 you have, of course, the Seiko automatic. The handset is pretty typical, with a syringe hour hand and a narrow minute hand, and a second hand that has one part in white, one part in black, and the pip in the counterbalance. The 009 version has a very slightly blue tone to the dial. So I think it's more evident here, the color difference of the dial between the 007 and the 009. As you can see, the 007 has a matte but a deep black dial as the 009, and it is supposed to be a very, very, very dark blue, much darker than the one on the bezel insert. And this bezel insert is very characteristic of the 009 version, with the Pepsi colors, the red between the 0 and the 20, and the dark blue between the 20 and the 60. It's an aluminium bezel insert, and as you can see, it has a marking, a numeral. It has a marking, or either a marking or a numeral, at every second, following with the classical Seiko diver aesthetic. The case is a cushion shape, in keeping with the Seiko diver watches that came before it, but much more slimmed down if you compare it to a Willard or even a Turtle. And of course, in that same Seiko fashion, the crown is at 4, or rather at 345. And here's one of the positive points of the Seiko SKX, and it's the fact that even for an entry-level watch, the brushing and the polishing is not bad at all. Not if you're paying $300 or $400 for it, but if you're paying $150 or $200 like it was before it was discontinued, it is perfectly okay. And as you can see at the back of the watch, I haven't removed the blue protection crystal, but as you can see at the back of the watch, you have, of course, that Kaganawa wave, very characteristic as well of Seiko divers. And the strap, it is stiff, it is uncomfortable, but it has this accordion style. And even though everybody does this kind of bracelet now, you have to remember that this accordion style bracelet was pioneered by Seiko in the 70s, and the principle is simple and wonderful. It goes like this: before diving, you put it on your wrist and you wear it very tightly, and as you go down and the water pressures on your wrist and suit and it gets smaller and smaller, the accordion will retract, the watch will still fit perfectly. So very smart and very simple. If we could have 2 words to sum up this watch, that would be it: simple and effective. However, something that belies that effectiveness is the fact that this watch has what would be called, even in the 90s, an ancient movement, and that is the 7S26, which is wonderful, a wonderful workhorse movement, not very accurate, but it is known to work and work and work without giving any hiccups for 10, even 20 years without a service. And that is amazing, and that is something that the newer Seiko movements, the 4Rs and especially the 6Rs, haven't managed to do as well, at least in my experience. However, it has many limitations, and the 2 major limitations are, of course, the fact that it doesn't hack and it doesn't hand wind. As you can see when I unscrew the crown, it just goes freely without hand winding, and it doesn't hack. I pull the crown and the second hand does not stop. So it means that to charge up this watch, you will have to do the now famous Seiko shuffle movement. The 7S26 has 21 joules, as you can see on the dial. It vibrates at 21,600 beats per hour, which equates to 6 ticks of the second hand per second, and it has an accuracy of -35 to +45 seconds a day. In fact, let's check the accuracy of this one. So flat on its back, you've got an accuracy of -4, -5. On the 3-up position, you've got a non-cool -17. And face down, this watch goes to a -3, -1. So overall, and you can see it went to 0 there. So overall, the accuracy is okay for these movements, and you should expect, depending on your usage, about a -10, -15 for this specific movement. But remember that this is luck of the draw. These movements are not regulated. And customary LUME shot. And as you can see, the lume on this watch is perfectly adequate. It was a LUME monster of its time, even though today it has been superseded by the newer Seikos and newer watches with better LUME and more long-lasting. This LUME is perfectly acceptable and even great, even for today's standards. But let's jump back to that question, where can you find this watch at a decent price? And we're not a year and a half ago, guys. You cannot have this watch anymore for $180, $200. Those days are long gone, but you can have this watch for, I would say that under 300 is a good price. Under $300 euros is a good price. And I get this watch at Creation Watches. I will leave the link in the description below. I have absolutely no affiliation with them, but I'm just trying to help the people who might be struggling looking for good prices for this watch. And as you can see, I bought it on the 21st of August 2020, so not even 1 month ago. And by checking on their website, you can see that they have all the stocks. They have the J's, they have the K's, the 009s, 007s, and they're still available and at great prices, all under 300 euros. And of course, if you have other places where you can get this watch at cheaper or at about the same price, don't forget to comment below and to let people know about these so they can make a good decision, a right decision. Just a little disclaimer, Creation Watches are out of Singapore. If you don't want to pay import taxes, don't choose DHL or any other fast carrier. Just choose normal carrier, and there's a big chance that you will not get to pay import fees. But if you choose DHL or any of those, even though it's free, Creation Watches, you will automatically have to pay duties and some of their administrative fees, and that's not worth it. Mine came in about 2 weeks and a half, 3 weeks, which is okay. I wasn't in a hurry to get it in any case. So there you go, guys. Don't forget to like this video if you find it useful. If you like what I'm doing here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I am trying to get to 1,000 users pretty soon, hopefully. I'm just below 900 today. So fingers crossed, guys. If you can help out to reach that goal, that'll be wonderful. Thank you again for having watched. All the best to you, and I'll be seeing you very soon. Goodbye.